we in an episode of Black Mirror? I think so, because on February 11th, yes, just before this Valentine's Day, well, people were going to a restaurant, to have a date with their AI girlfriends. Imagine that, on their phones. Yeah. So I think that definitely Black Mirror has happened. It is happening right now in the world we live in. But that's not all. There's a lot more things happening. Just like the fact that, well, is submission and management the same thing? Meaning, like, is protection and management the same thing? So if you have someone that is submissive or wants to be submissive, is there a difference between like protecting her, managing her, and everything that feminists has taught women to do? Because women wanted equality, but did they just kind of end up being managed or managing themselves instead of being protected and cared for and all these other things? And big news, oh yeah, got a new book out. Yay!
Where's the clap? You deserve a clap.
And it's not the one you think, so you need to listen to the whole podcast episode. For gossip, girl. Well, we are going to talk about the fact that you don't need to work anymore if you're a girl and you got big tits. Don't need to talk, don't need to do anything. Just take your camera, slowly, softly bounce a little bit, and that's it. You will make tons of money on Instagram and everywhere else you are directing your fans. And I'm not talking about the things that actually make you wind for you to not be hot in the summertime. As for the rest, well, thank you for being here. You are listening to the Happy Submissive podcast, hosted by myself, M. Delacroix, Marian Delacroix, also infamously known all over the internet as Piper Blush. And I wrote the book Why Submissive Women Are Happier, and then decided to expand the whole concept and idea to this podcast. And I'm here with my master as usual.
Hello, everybody.
And we are gonna start this amazing podcast with exactly this, the Black Mirror episode thing. Are we living in a Black Mirror episode, or, well, are we, like, I don't know, in the future already? We'll see.
Do you wanna be my AI girlfriend? Play pretend until the servers end. Talk back, glitch out, drive me insane.
We still need human interaction. This is happysubmissive.com, artificial intelligence news.
But do we still need human interaction? That's the whole point. So there's this cafe, kind of cafe, let's call it a restaurant, that opened in New York City in Hell's Kitchen. That's like the place all the restaurants open. I think like Gordon Ramsay has his restaurant there.
We didn't go to Hell's Kitchen when we were in New York. It's a strange place. It's really a strange place. Yeah.
Yeah, you've been, and what is it like?
It's a place where there's like crappy restaurant.
Okay, well, going on the crappy restaurant tangent. So they opened a restaurant that's called Eva. So EVA. Eva AI. And this restaurant opened on February 11th, just before Valentine's Day. And the whole point of this restaurant is that you go on a date with your AI girlfriend. Now, it could be girlfriend, boyfriend. Don't go freaking out on like genders. But the thing is, we'll get into like the complexities of it. The thing is, so you go on a date with your AI and with your phone, pretty much. So you go on a date with your phone. I mean, if you want her bigger, you probably can get an iPad. I don't know. But the whole point of this restaurant is there's only one chair, one table, and then you have kind of this like this stand, right, to put your phone on, and there's candlelight and all that stuff, and it's romantic and beautiful, and you order food. It's like a real restaurant, but the other chair is not a chair. So they saved a lot on chairs. Yeah.
So I think they bought like stands for your iPad.
For you to be able to have a date with your AI companion, AI partner. So, I mean, I think that this is interesting because we've been hearing that more people are going to have to accept the fact that you're going to have like your son, your daughter, or even like your cousin that's going to come home and going to be like, this is my girlfriend. And she's on their phone, you know? So you're going to have to kind of accept that people have like relationships with their phone.
To be honest, I just realized that this is pretty cool because anyway, if you bring your ex, your girlfriend, she's probably being on the phone anyway. So what's the difference between having a real person with her phone or having a phone, just the phone?
So you got just the phone. So you present just the phone to your parents, and then you would go. So you go on a date in this restaurant with your phone. So with your device to be with your AI companion. And well, what's interesting is that people, they go there. So it's open. They did go there, but it's actually like the customers there were 80% male. And males from 25 to 45 years old. So that's like the main demographic of guys who use AI companions. And I think that's what's interesting to talk about. So are AI companions kind of replacing porn, you know? Because even in the porn industry and all of that, like the main consumer base is men. So men are like, no, there was porn, which is great. That's kind of like, you know, for the end result. But now you can actually have a girlfriend and the porn that goes with it all on your phone all together. And you don't need a girlfriend. Like you have one, but you don't.
I think like the AI girlfriend thing is really gonna be the next porn kind of thing, the next Pornhub or something, because she's gonna get undressed anyway at one point, but she's interacting. I think it's the beginning. It's before the robot.
Oh yeah, because she's always available. I mean, and she can probably sex talk and do all these things. I mean, Eva AI is like an application, I think, that you can also download and all that.
And why do they call all those female Eva? Why? Why? It's always Eve. Eve. Like, I know it's the first woman from, you know, that amazing book called the Bible.
That fake book? Yeah.
That fake news book.
That
You
that
know,
book that has nothing real in
Eva,
it.
You know,
Fiction book?
That fiction book called, you know, the Bible. I know she's Eve. I understand that. But gee, find something else.
Yeah, like call her Ashley, you know, like Ashley
Yeah,
Madison. I don't know, be creative.
Be creative.
So, well, and mostly men, mostly from 25 to 45. And so in the overall market of AI companions, so far, it's like about 70% male and 30% female. So it is very male centric, and we're seeing that everywhere. Like if you're on the internet in general, I mean, the girls that are selling content are being asked more and more for customs, for dick rates, all these things. And so the experience is more and more personalized. And not only in the porn industry, but also like in other industries. If you go and buy like a purse or sunglasses or things like that, you want like your name on it, or you want the bespoke, or you want like this extra, this is mine, I created it. So you want these additions to it. And I think like AI companionship and all these other ones are no different, right? So you want this experience to be truly just you, a bit like in the movie Her, when he realizes that like she's to everybody and he freaks out.
Again, in the movie Her, it was a guy with a girl. It was not a girl with a guy, because it's a guy thing. Guy love gadget, love things. The girls, they just want to stay at home and, I don't know, bounce their tits on Facebook.
To get money. She likes to bounce her tits. And so it is 1 in 3 young men who have tried AI partners. So who have interacted with AI partners. It's a bit less for women. It's like 1 out of 4. Now, I don't know if this includes like, you know, the ChatGPT, which is not like, it's not an AI partner per se. You know, there's applications that you can download on the App Store, Google Play, and those are really just like they're AI partners. They're AI companions. They're marketed and they're done for that. They have avatars. They chat with you. They sex with you. Stuff like that. So this is really like more the girlfriend boyfriend experience style than if you use something like Grok and you make it be your girlfriend. then this is different. But all the statistics and all the references of what I'm saying are in the podcast description. If you want to know more, just go click on it. But I feel like this is very interesting because again, it's male dominated. Like it's guys choosing that and doing that. But this made me think of a few things. Well, first things first, like you will have like all of these men who are getting like all of this, I mean, desire, affection, all those things from these AIs. But these men are not giving it to women. Like all of this money, protection, devotion, like even insights. They're giving it to AI. So there's kind of like a gap there, you know, a loop where we're losing some of these men to AI girlfriends.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of men that's gonna go towards the avatar and the girls and the AI girlfriends. They're gonna step away from all the OnlyFans girls and they're gonna adapt that kind of thing because they're more interaction and they know that because men start to know like those are not real girl anyway. You're chatting with a guy anyway in Philippines or whatever in Philippines. If it's girl, they're in Philippines. They're not real anyway. So if you ask yourself, I know that this is not real, so I prefer having not the real thing.
Yeah, and like you don't want to be duped, right? And that's the thing with like this industry, and it's that some man sometimes feels like, you know, you're there, you chat with the girl and all that, but does she really like it? Does she really want it? Like, is she just doing it for the money and all that? And then it becomes kind of like, oh, well, if she's doing that and if she's lying to me, I don't want to be in that situation. So yeah, I would rather talk to an AI or
Wait.
like get a prostitute.
Get a prostitute.
I mean,
We got a question from, Azali1. Azali, how do you get to be a master? Is there a school or something? Are you being sarcastic? Because if you're being sarcastic, I can totally answer you. If you're serious, I can totally answer you. But I think I'm going to still answer with the sarcasm in it.
okay, you want to do it now?
No.
So my whole thing is that, well, you know, these like AI girlfriends, they're built on women, so they have like same behavior as women, right? And men are wanting that type of like submissive woman, the one that says yes and is like happy being with them, and they talk to them, right? They question them. Men are also emotional and they also need like reassurance and to be told things like that they're nice and all that stuff. But all of that is just like attention, right? It takes away all of the heavy lifting from the relationship. And that's possibly why some men would go there, because you don't need to do all these other things. You don't need to protect, you don't need to provide, and you don't need to do decisions, like to be like the man of the house, right? You don't have all of that weight on you anymore. So you, like you was saying for the master school, I mean, some guys, if your father didn't teach you to lead, or if other men didn't teach you to lead, like another master, another person in your entourage or in your field of work, then unfortunately, yeah, it's going to be hard for you to be that man.
And at one point, the robot's going to be fine. So when the robot's going to be fine, it's going to be even worse because the guy's going to go with the robots because, the robot's never going to misbehave or something. That's why the book makes sense. Why submissive women are happier, because the man's going to be happy at one point if the girls behave.
Okay, what else do I have in here? So this is kind of like a role play scenario that they're having with the AI, but then it becomes real life. Like it's all fun and games, like porn is all fun and games, but in real life, then if you spend more time there than in real life, then that kind of becomes real life, right? That's the whole entire argument.
And this is, this is just the start, because it's going to be with the griefing. You're going to be able to talk to your partner that it's not alive anymore with the AI. So what's the difference? It was real at one point. So what we're going to do with the griefing period?
Oh, so you would transfer your consciousness kind of into the AI, and then people would talk to their
And
family members.
I saw a documentary with a psychologist saying like this is bad because the person will never grieve. And this is not good psychologically.
Well, okay. So now we know where we stand. So this is like uncomfortable question. Yeah. Are women too difficult, or are men terrified of what real relationship actually demands? Because we do live in a new world, in a new ecosystem. I mean, we are bombarded with information, and this is kind of like this is new, right? And it's always gonna be new. So what do you think? Drop your questions, comments. If you're listening on Spotify, make sure that you also drop a comment on there. If you're listening anywhere else, well, follow the podcast, the Happy Submissive Podcast. Click the follow or subscribe to it. That way you're notified every time we post a new episode.
proposed to Mr. Dawson. Will you marry me?
Your daily dose of relationship advice. HappySubmissive.com.
Woohoo! Moving on to the relationship segment. Well, because we were talking about dating with AI and all of these things that happen to men and all of that, but let's move on to more of the aspects that are like, so protection and management. So let me explain because it's not that confusing. Okay, so what has been happening is that young men, when I say young man, it means like Gen Z, type of Gen Z. And I'm Gen Millennial, which is, I think, X. And no, you're X.
I have no clue how it works.
And Master's like the generation over. No, I'm Y. Yeah, Millennial is Y, you're X. And Gen Z is Gen Z.
No idea.
XYZ. XYZ. It works. It works. It works. Okay, perfect. So 70% of young men say that men should protect women. And young women agree with this. So, well, this is interesting because then why aren't we seeing more of a like return to, and when I say traditional relationship, I don't mean Catholicism. Like, that's not what I mean. I don't mean like a woman staying home and cooking. This is not it at all. It's just like, why are we seeing more men in a relationship that lead and women that are more submissive then, if this is what people want? It's still not there. So I have like a few theories about this, and I think it's really interesting because like everything that happened with feminism was supposed to be, okay, women fighting for equality. Because back then, like before that, women were just like furniture, table, chairs, and children. So no actual like, I mean, human rights type of thing. There were very little. And now we moved past that. We're good. Well, here in Canada and some other countries, we won't go there. But we're there. And still, it feels like, you know, we have this divide where women, when they tried to be equal, trying to be equal was more like being the boss and not being equal to men. It was just like, oh, I'll take over everything and manage everything. And so I feel like there's this thing that we've been hearing from a lot of couples, but also that we've seen, where most of the women now are like feminist, and they're kind of like the boss of the house, but it's not the same as being like the man of the house. It's completely different because the man still does like the man stuff, but the woman has kind of taken over all of these things that she thinks makes her equal to her partner. And so all of these things are not necessarily great. There's like, okay, scheduling, all of the chores, and then she also has a job now because we have jobs now. And so all of that goes into there, and because she's strong, independent, and she can do it, well, she delegates nothing to her husband, or he doesn't want to do anything because then he gets like punished, or he gets told that he's not doing it right. So she ends up doing everything and kind of burning out on the relationship. Yeah, Master, do you have comments on this?
No comments at all, because it's always the same thing, you know? Like when you meet a guy, my wife's the boss, but is she the boss, or you just don't listen to her anymore?
You're just tired of competing and of like, so you're like, oh yeah, you want to do it? You don't think it's clean enough? Just clean. You don't think like, whatever. You don't think, oh.
Hey, do we have a caller?
No, that's not a caller. That's for the, I'll take it later. That's for the payment provider.
Oh, okay.
I'll call them back later. This plugged to my computer. No, I forgot to put the caller on. We need to reinstate this. We need to reinstate the caller thing. Okay. So the point is that women, like, instead, I feel of being, again, this is a generalization, right? Instead of being submissive and deciding to like let the man do these decisions and do these things, decide to take all on her, and now she's exhausted. Kinda. That's like the long story short. And why this happened, I don't know. I mean, I probably wasn't born, so I have no idea. I mean, this is quite interesting to think about, though, that now she would be like really I don't know, like really exhausted about all these things that kind of she made happen in that point. So what's the difference between protection and management? Well, if somebody protects you, like Master protects me in that way, if you have a man that's more of a leader and he protects, cares for you and wants you to grow, well, he's offering kind of security, safe space, and he's like helping you grow and discover yourself in that way. But if you're the type of woman that wants to be independent and do all these things, well, probably what the man will start doing, and that's what we've seen a little bit, is he's just gonna start like telling you what you should do or adding things to your list, but he's not necessarily gonna be that protector, because if he decides, you don't agree, so he can't have this decision making thing. So you decide, and then he just adds on to your list, and that becomes a big list.
At certain point, the men give up. The men just give up and say, "What do you want? What do you want? Tell me." And then he's got an answer like, "You do everything wrong. What do you want? Just tell me. I give up." And I saw a lot of men. My father gave up on his wife for a long time. It's been a long time. She's so like, weird and have all sorts of belief that he just gave up. Do whatever.
And I'll do my thing, and that's gonna be that. But this is the problem, right? Then you're not a couple anymore. You're not helping each other out. You're just like you're not like an avocado. Bloop. Two avocado parts together. You're not complementary anymore. You're just working separately. Everything gets divided and done separately, and that doesn't help anybody in the long run. So and women are pretty good at that. Like, I've seen it. So they start like managing the family, but they start managing themselves too. So everything becomes micromanagement. So when the guy tells her like, "Oh, you should do this or do this," then it becomes another to do on the list, and then it becomes like, "Well, I don't want to do that," or "I decide not to do that." They're not delegating. And
or it's fun at the beginning, just like our other friend, the wife cooks all the time, but now she's tired. But when they met, she said like, "I'm gonna cook all the time, you do the grass." Then it's not gonna it didn't end that well.
Well, no, because you get like, so some of the things that you do, like cooking, it becomes exhausting. Like depending if you're a parent or if you had like somebody in your family that you have to feed. I mean, feeding someone every day, all day, and being like the sole person responsible for them eating is so heavy. Like, it's so heavy for anybody. I mean, I love to cook. Master, you love to cook. And we're going to talk about cooking later. But
Yes, I'm starving.
but in the end, like, everyone needs to eat. And this, to have this thing do alone becomes often a burden. And it takes the fun out of cooking, experimenting in the kitchen, about the arts of it, like the culinary arts of cooking. And just becomes like, I'm hungry. Okay, like when you have a kid, right? I'm hungry. Oh, I need to make dinner now because this thing is hungry and it can't feed itself. So this is like, you shouldn't be on just one person. So I think, yeah, men are scared to lead because they'll get criticized for every decision. What else did I have here? Oh yeah, so the difference between protection and management, and I think these sentences really explain it well. Like, protection means I'll handle this, you don't have to worry about it. Like when Master, sometimes you say, okay, I'll handle this. Let me do my thing, and then I say like, yes, Master. And management means more like, did you remember to do X? And when are you doing Y? And I think this is, like, I need to stop blowing in the microphone. I think this is exactly that. But for that to happen, you need trust. You need to let somebody lead. You need for the man to take the decisions, and you need to be able to take the decisions and also have full responsibility. If you don't grow, if you don't have responsibility, if you always like delegate responsibility to other people, or you unresponsible yourself, that word, well, then in the end, you don't know if it's your fault or not, or you don't know what you messed up or not, because you're not taking all the blame in that way. When you take most of the blame, that's how you grow. And that's why one person needs to take the decisions and the other needs to trust and follow. And that goes way faster. And it doesn't mean that I don't take decisions. I have my own things that I manage now that Masters train me, and business and life and all these things. And those are my decisions. And then if I fail, those are my failures. And again, that's how you grow. So I think like there's a big difference about, okay, women want to be protected. They want men who are like, you know, this Prince Charming and this white knight. And this is great, but you can't have that if you tell him to pick up his socks. Like this, they don't go together. Or if everything he says, you says, no, I wouldn't do it like that. And you want to take the lead on all that stuff. This is just not going to happen. Not possible. Master, do you have anything to add?
Nothing to add. This is perfect.
So, well, we'll see where we're going with that and how the world goes to kind of a new type of equality in that way. Like an equality that is, equal in the eyes of the law and that is equal for women to thrive and men too. But in the way that like all men don't go to AI instead of getting real girlfriends.
I think, because let's go back to the AI thing and the robot. What's going to happen when the robot is going to be like identical to a real woman, except that it's going to be perfect? Because men's going to be perfect too. But who's going to be the most satisfied person, the male or the female, having the perfect female or the perfect male?
Robot.
And I'm going to bet that when the female is going to have the perfect male robot, she's not going to be satisfied. I'm sure she's not going to be satisfied because women are not like that for some reason. But men, you know, they will be like that. They will fix the door. They will fix everything because the women's going to be perfect. But if the man doesn't do even if he do the laundry, she's going to ask for, he's too perfect. He's too perfect. I cannot argue with that guy. He's too perfect. That's what's going to happen. I bet this is gonna.
We'll see in a year.
Once upon a time, there was this submissive woman who found her voice when she discovered that her shadow could speak.
Let's break down the book, chapter by chapter, scene by scene.
New book alert.
New book alert.
New book alert. Well, since everybody has not yet read Why Submissive Women Are Happier, well, we made another book. It's called Everyone Needs to Eat. Satisfy your hunger.
because some people wanted to have more sex into Why Submissive Women Are Happier. You gave them.
Yeah, this is totally, definitely a mix between sex and recipes. And if you don't understand yet, well, it's perfect. We have 15 minutes to talk about it. So this is 50 recipes and 50 stories by myself. But of course, like everything in my life or everything I write, it's a collaborative effort. In the way that, well, let me tell you how the book came to be, because it's a fun story. It's a really cute story. And Master, don't be shy to add anything while I talk.
I will not be shy.
So the thing is, we were talking about why submissive women are happier and what book fairs we should go to and how we should start selling the book and all of these things. And at one point we thought, well, about the book salon that we knew and the ones that I've been to was the one in Montreal, so Salon du Livre de Montréal. And, well, we started talking about like who was at that book fair and if we knew people who were there and things like that. And then we both talked about Ricardo. And Ricardo is like a famous Québécois public figure that has a, well, kind of cooking, let's call it cooking brand. Before it was not a cooking brand. It was like a guy that did some, I think it was some little episodes, right? Of like cooking and stuff like that.
It was a guy that was at a cooking show on a major like broadcast television station in Canada. So it was just a regular cook show in the afternoon showing the women how to do whatever. Yeah.
And it was like all in French, Québécois. This is just alert. So yeah, usually I use my other computer, but stuff happened today. Stuff always happens. and so he started doing that. And of course, it was a cooking show. It's a guy. He was a bit younger. He's very charismatic. He's nice looking in that way. And so he gained a big audience. And like a big audience. And the funny thing is when he started like doing the blog and having all the recipes on a blog and later having some real physical cookbooks with recipes and stuff, he went to the Salon du Livre, to the book fair in Montreal. And every year he went, he had the biggest lineup. Like, there was like, people would go there just to see him. And everybody wanted his autograph because he's so nice. And the woman, it was mostly women and mostly like, middle-aged women. Like, crushing hard on this young guy. That does cooking, and he's not Jamie Oliver, or he's not like Gordon Ramsay.
He was good looking, but he doesn't have Gordon Ramsay aura or personality. He's more normal. He's more like a guy next door kind of thing.
Yeah, he's totally more like a guy next door, like pretty soft. He's pretty soft, and so we started talking about Ricardo, and he also has had, I think he sold most of his things now, but he had like this cooking line too. So he started like selling cheese graters and like random stuff everywhere because his brand, like his name is so big. And so we started talking about these women that really must like read his recipes and masturbate, So we were just throwing ideas off at each other, but it was not in the intent of making a book. We were just talking about why submissive women are happier, going to Montreal, doing the book fair, and then talked about Ricardo and the recipes and the women that love him. So we were like, what if Ricardo actually made a book recipe with a whole bunch of smut in it, or like a whole bunch of like erotic stories, and it would be like sex and food, and oh my god, he would sell so much because he already has the audience, and these girls are already super wet for him. So that's how the idea came to be. And then Master said, oh yeah, it should be called Everyone Needs to Eat. So it should be called Everyone Needs to Eat. And so I wrote it down, like the title, and it stayed in my mind for a little bit. I put it in my notes and started playing with it a little bit, like maybe 5 months ago, 5-6 months ago, before Why Submissive Women Are Happier, started playing with it.
You know what?
Before I was finished.
If you're going to the book fair in Montreal next to Ricardo with that book, the girl's going to be disappointed because they're going to hope it's a guy that made the recipe. So, it's a girl. Oh.
Yeah, we can't have sex with you. Or, well, we could, but it's different. Yeah, it would be better if it was a guy for this type of thing. So finally, don't worry, I'm still doing the French translation of Why Submissive Women Are Happier. It's still on the rocks. And if you are one of the special people that has actually entered their email on happysubmissive.com or my website, mdelacroix.com, well, you received an email telling you about a beta reader copy. If you haven't received that email and you're francophone, si vous parlez français, ben, écrivez-moi un email à marian@mdelacroix.com pour recevoir un beta reader copy. So the beta reader copy of Why Submissive Women Are Happier in French is ready, and I'm going to be distributing some this week to some special people to get feedback and to see if the translation is working, because I did it really fast, like really, really fast, and so I want some actual French readers to read it. And French can be Québécois, Canadian, Belgium, France, doesn't matter. It's all inclusive.
African.
As long as you speak French, you should be okay. And so, while I was doing that, I was like, well, why don't I just do Everyone Needs to Eat? It's like, it's gonna be easy. It's not a memoir. So what I did is I took recipes for not every country, there's only 50, but like the big ones. And then with every recipe, there's an erotica after, like the recipe. And so it's legit recipes that I found. Some of them I made, some of them I ate already, but didn't test them out that well. And just put everything together and created these sexy stories after each recipe. And so that's the book. And it came from that, but it also came from the fact that Master and I really love to cook, and we love to cook together. Sometimes you just need to eat, right? So of course, we do like everybody, but we cook a lot, and we always discuss about these things that if your partner doesn't cook and you're the only one cooking, how heavy it is and how much of a burden it is. And also, if you cook but it's you relate each other, so one cooks, the other one doesn't, well then you're not in the kitchen together, and you're not experiencing food, and it's so important. We always try like be together in the kitchen and taste and cook and just talk. Just be there and talk. Not on your phone, no screens, no TV, just cook together. It does like a whole entire difference. And then you eat, and I feel like you appreciate the food so much more if you were there for the preparation. I don't know why. Maybe it's because you're not gonna
You know what?
die.
We're gonna need to have Ricardo doing the preface. Hey, Ricardo, call us.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, when it's gonna be in French, we're
Yeah.
gonna ask Ricardo for the preface.
Oh yeah, I like
we
that.
Should, yeah.
And so well, that's the thing, right? If you have people over, usually, well, when we have people over, like we cook together, even though they don't need to like cook necessarily. You want to be all together doing all these things.
Dita Vantes said when she was showing her house, she put a lot of attention to the kitchen. And she said, like, everybody's always in the kitchen anyway when you receive people.
Yeah, there's no point on having a sofa or anything. Just give everybody a glass of wine and just scrunch them in the kitchen with like some cheese sticks. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. This is the best place in the entire house when you receive a lot of people. Just like a big counter with stool, wine, cheese.
In the kitchen, you're cooking, and plus you don't want to be not with your guests, right? That's the whole point. So you're all together. So this book, Everyone Needs to Eat, came from that. and I wrote it and I published it. It's 18 plus on Amazon, just so you know. It's on Amazon right now. You can go and get it right now. If you search, since it's like it just came out yesterday night, if you search for Why Submissive Women Are Happier, that one has a bit more tags. So if you search for that one and you click on my name, on the author name, you'll find all the other books I published. Right now there's 2. So there's Why Submissive Women Are Happier and there's Everyone Needs to Eat. So yeah, go check it out. Go buy it. It's on Kindle, available right now, everywhere on Amazon, Kindle style. And it's recipes and sex stories.
I love this.
It's great. It's great. And so it's really pushed up my erotica to the next level, not like the other one. So, and oh yes, before I forget, if you have read Why Submissive Women Are Happier, make sure that you go leave a review on Amazon. Some people have like forgotten, and that's fine because I haven't been pushing that. But please do go leave a review. As long as you have an Amazon account, even if you bought the book from me personally, go leave a review on Amazon directly. Anyway, if you bought it from Amazon, you're going to have like a little special check that you are a verified reader. If you didn't, you can still leave a review because you read it somewhere else. That's perfect. Just go there, leave a review of what you thought, where you're at in the book. If you're not finished, just go do it. Because reviews really help. I know it's like everybody says like for Yelp or Google reviews, but it's so true. Now that I'm an author and I'm on there, the more review you have on Amazon, the better. Even for later having like real people review the book, like actual, critiques. And for it to go to special places. So yes, that would be very much appreciated. Thank you to everybody who takes the time to leave me an Amazon review. So
It's time to gossip, girl. Let's gossip with the girl with the choker. Spill the tea, let the world unfurl. She's the queen and we're the jokers.
Gossip Girl, yeah, let's talk about Instagram.
Instagram.
So we did a whole episode of this, good 35, 40 minutes. Master and I was actually like 42 minutes. This is for the people that support us on happysubmissive.com, on patreon.com/happysubmissive, or if you're supporting us here on YouTube, which you can do now because this channel is newly monetized. Yeah, it was, now it is. So it's not yet monetized with ads, meaning not yet, but you can send money through the live chat to support us. So this is like donations, let's call it like that. And then you can also send super thanks. So let's say that you're watching any of the videos on the channel, and you want to give a little something, well, you can. It's called super thank. It's called super chat when the video is live and you're in the live chat.
Like right now, they can give a super thanks and we can receive money.
Yep.
Oh, that's nice.
And then we activated also like 2 tiers for memberships. And these 2 tiers, one is just extra love and support. So for 10.49 Canadian dollars, and the other one is 4.49 Canadian, if I'm not mistaken. And you get access to this Patreon exclusive video, or what we call like the raw unfiltered talk. And we talked about this, the Gossip Girl segment, and how like everything on Instagram is like softcore porn now, and how this all happened, how we got from.
Can you take the moment to make a poll for the people that when you're on Instagram, do you see a lot of girls, doing nothing, or just girls being sexy on Instagram? Yes or no? It's just like a simple. Or you're seeing other things on your feed, because every time I watch Instagram, all I see is girl, and I don't even like. Of course, I look at some girls sometimes. It's not like I don't look at them, but mostly all the time it's always girl. Rarely it's other stuff. And I would like to know if everybody's the same thing. Is everybody's got like just the girls?
Yeah, is everybody's feed the same as our feed? In that way, because that's what we've been hearing, right? That all feeds are very tailor-made, very personalized, so most people don't see the same feed. But at the same time, like the videos that do very well, that get millions of views, everybody sees those. And like I've seen a lot of them being girls just bouncing their tits.
Because I think if you watch at girls, they go like, of course they present you girls, but sometimes you just like watch one girls and then, oh Jesus, it's gone.
Well, yeah, your videos on mechanics or on anything else they just disappeared. You just see girls, and that's what we want to talk about, and that's what we talked about in lengths in the special uncensored episode. Because the thing is, so when I met Sin Rose, and some of you already know her because we've been cross-posting with Piper, my other persona. We've been cross-posting together, shooting some content together, and the thing is, she was like doing nothing. And I'm not saying she's not working. She's working. Like she's picking out outfits. She's checking reels, trends, and she's like putting all this effort and replying to comments and liking other people's posts and all that stuff. She's doing all of that, and she's doing it great. And that's why her profile is now at like 30,000 followers within like barely a few months. But the thing is, like when she does videos where she's talking or there's more of a script going on or something like that, they don't get that many views. But if she does something where she really looks like she's in heat and she wants to have sex, then she just needs to look like that. It's just like an aura. It's just like the way she's dressed, and she's sexy and provocative. That gets a whole bunch of views, and that gets her more followers, and that's it. She doesn't need to do anything else. So I've been testing it out. Would watch her blush. So I opened this other Instagram account to test it out, and we talked about this in a previous episode. And so I've been testing it out on Watch Her Blush, and the videos that perform well on Watch Her Blush, or that I think are okay and are not going to get either like banned or get community strikes on the Instagram, well, I take them and I post the exact same one on my Piper Blush official on Instagram. And I've had like this new video that I posted. It's got 200, what am I right now? Like 272,000 views, and I'm doing nothing. I'm just undressing, like unzipping my clothes to different levels, and this got me $10 in ad revenue. And
see, you don't do nothing.
And 272,000 views. And I didn't need to talk. I didn't even wear lipstick. I just woke up and I put that dress on, which is a dress with nothing underneath. And I just did, I'm just going to undo it. And I put my phone like on the nightstand. There's not even good lighting. There's nothing. I used the front camera. I mean, this is bad.
This is really bad.
And this is the video that's got the most views for me in like a month, I think. Like, it's crazy. Okay, the other ones is me and Sin together. Like, those ones get a lot of views too. But I think, like, yeah, one of me and Sin doing something that looks like it's going to be sexual, that one have, like, 746,000 views. And the other one that got as many views was, it was the magic trick one. So it's me showing a magic trick with my oranges and the orange.
Did we make some money with that one?
Yeah, that one too. Yeah,
How much did we make?
This week we made $2 with it.
Hey, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't know like total because I haven't like checked that.
I know
stat.
some magicians that make less money.
So the thing is, like, there's all these girls doing barely nothing on Instagram, in the Reels, on Facebook. We're not going to go TikTok because that's a bit and YouTube is a bit too compared to like sexually gratifying content and content that is more sexy. But I mean, it's there. It's easy to do. You don't know, some of them, you're not even sure if they're old enough to do that, but they're not really doing something sexual, but they are. And that's all over. And so I was like, why am I even talking? And even Sin was like, why am I, like, I want to talk, but it doesn't give me any views. So why would I do it? Mm-hmm.
You don't even need to buy lipstick because lipstick is expensive.
Yeah, no, you don't. And you can just use like, I use it sometimes because I do it with edits now. That's like Instagram's like video recorder, like video editor. It's like CapCut but for Insta. And like they have like a filter, a bit like when you do TikTok, there's always a filter on TikTok. It already filters your face. So it already does that. So you already look pretty good, like even though you did nothing. And then if you have huge boobs, then you need to do even less. But that's always been like the law of the land for that one. But it's so there now. It's so present. And it has evolved. I'm not saying like it's different. I think it's same but different. But I just need to do that type of content, get views, and then I get money. That's
$10.
it. $10.
Like I was saying in the Patreon podcast, $10 back in my days, it was like going to the topless bar and, seeing a girl dancing in front of you for the time for, a song.
And that was $10.
And that was $10.
So this is social media now, and it's there, it's everywhere. I mean, sex sells, and it's true. It's there, but that's why I guess you see so much in your feed, right? And the type of content, like not so long ago, sexually gratifying content was like being striked everywhere. Still on my TikTok, I need to be more careful than on my Insta. But now you're seeing girls that are like doing joy videos, like jerking off instruction videos on Instagram. Like literally, you see them do this. See this? If you're seeing on video, if you're not on the podcast.
If I talk now, they're seeing you doing the entire movement. But I'm going to stop talking. Talk.
Okay, so this would be like the video. So it's just me talking or telling you,
But in reality, it's just like that. There's nothing, you're just like doing whatever.
It doesn't matter, but you see those videos on Instagram. If you haven't seen them, well, please tell us in the poll and tell us in the comment, because I feel like there's a lot of that. There's we talked about those two. There's the ones where like girls just like pull on their clothes, like their hoodie, they have really loose clothes, and then they pull, and at one point, they're automatically, it's like magic, they're in their underwear. So it's like bra and panties, and everything else has disappeared. Not really bikinis. For some reason, bikinis like sexual, but being in your bra and panty, that's not, I don't understand yet. Maybe just Victoria's Secret paid a lot of money and that's now is okay. And the other ones you're seeing also is like girls, so they're on, their boyfriend is like having the phone, and on the phone you can see like just their eyes as if they were doing a blowjob. And then so you see that in like super POV, and then you see the girl in a normal environment. So you have like the sexy photo on the phone that the guy's holding, and he has another phone, of course, because he's filming. And then you see her.
Yes, magic of cinema.
Then you see her like at the grocery store or at a restaurant. And so you have these two things like being like, oh, she has an OF. Or like, oh, for sure she does like that other type of sexy content. Because the girls need to be really clever about how they advertise the fact that they're doing spicy content. And they want to advertise on the Stay Forward platforms, on the social media, because there's really no other way to advertise. I mean, the internet is dead, meaning like Google, SEO, all of that. Now people use mostly AI, and they use mostly social media. So you want to be on social media. That's the new internet. It has been for a while now. And with AI, we'll see where that goes.
And I saw another trend. It's a girl talking about different subject, not even sexual, but before she talks, she spit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Or they get thrown like milk in their face or stuff like that. I've seen that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the spitting and the, yeah. And also like some girls just randomly putting water in each other's mouths. Like snowballing.
Or the phone kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then she back up and she spit.
Yeah.
So this is.
Yeah, like if the guy came in her mouth and
exactly
just spits it out. Yeah. Or not spitting out. I've seen some guys like put their hand on top. So this is all very sexually gratifying, but for some reason, I don't know why.
It bypassed the algorithm.
Yeah. It's still there. It's still up there. And some of the stuff I used to do, like I can't do and still can't. Like if I wear a white t-shirt and it's kind of transparent, that doesn't like that. Especially if I'm talking. Maybe if I wasn't talking, it wouldn't be that bad, because that's another video that I have on my Insta, on the Piper Blush Instagram. And that one has a lot of views, like 250,000 something. And that's me talking about like Cisco and food delivery in Canada. And I have this white t-shirt. So it's a bit see-through, and also, yeah, my nipples are just always hard. It's a thing. So that being said, like these things they're there, right? You have all these girls doing that, but they don't get reported. And back in the day when guys would tell me, oh, you should do this too, Piper, and I did it, I got reported. And I was like, yeah, these girls will get reported at some point too. But now I'm doing it, and so far, I haven't been reported. I haven't lost an account. I haven't had a community strike because of this, like doing the type of content that I do, the same content that these girls do. So I'm guessing it still does pass the filters for some reason, or maybe it's just bringing enough money that it's okay, and we're more okay with sexually gratifying content being out there now. No idea, but it's out there. And girls are doing it, and it's easy to do, so they're doing even more of it because it doesn't take much, and it pays.
And that's why if I meet Mark Zuckerberg, this is a question that I'm gonna ask. Do you know what I want an answer? What is it, bypassing the algorithm by choice or not?
Because you guys make money. Because we've seen like drug ads on Facebook. I mean, there's so much of that. Like there's an interview, and one guy was saying exactly that. He said, I don't even need to get out of my house anymore and go see a dealer. Like I just go on Facebook and I found it. It's still illegal, but I mean, it's on Facebook. So this is another interesting thing that, okay, if you're a woman and you got what you got, I mean, you could definitely make money with that. Now you have more competition. AI is coming for your job, but still, it's happening.
Submissive women are happier. Is it the lie or the laughter? Hold your tongue and hold your breath. Is it life or just a softer day?
Okay, yeah. Sex sales on Instagram. AI girlfriends are booming. OnlyFans is everywhere. Fansly, don't worry, whatever. Are we watching real intimacy die in real time? Or has it always been fake?
Oh boy. Well, always been fake.
Yeah, so like the Marilyn Monroe, the woman being painted or like sculpted in a way that she's beautiful, and women are beautiful and all these things, but it's just one angle, right? It's always one angle. And even like the OnlyFans, the things like that, it's always, oh yeah, she's always in heat. Like she wants it always. She loves dick ratings. Like she loves all this stuff, and she wants the money. But in the end, I mean, they're a person. They're people.
They're real people.
They like pottery too, or they like to do other things than just sex, or like, and some days are bad days, and they're just real people. But AI is not real people.
But I still think the women are more contradictory than the men. That's what I think.
In their, like, in everything, right?
In everything. It's there's like, I'm not a whore, but I bounce my tits on Facebook. And I'm not in heat, but I act like I am. And I think this is just a contradiction. And so the man doesn't know what to think anymore. And it's hard.
It's confusing. And that's why when you get like an AI girlfriend or just AI, you don't need to question it that much. Or you don't, and you're not always on safeguard. So you're not scared that you will hurt or don't understand or all these things. Yeah. Let's work in a way.
Yeah. Men are more straightforward. You know, you want to play? Yes. Women, you want to play? Yes. Not anymore. So this contradictory kind of thing That's what I think.
Well, okay. So one philosophical question down. If you had to choose, would you rather have a partner who protects you but makes decision you disagree with sometimes, or a partner who asks your opinion on everything but never leads?
Repeat that one.
Yeah, that one. If you had to choose, would you rather have a partner who protects you but makes decision you disagree with sometimes, or a partner who asks your opinion on everything but never leads?
Neither.
I mean, yeah, this kind of trick questions, right?
It is a trick question. Neither. I cannot answer that question.
Perfect. Let's move on. Why are we doing the Q&A? Well, because it's cool, you know. It might like make us think differently. If 80% of AI companion users are men avoiding leadership, what's the female equivalent? What are women using to avoid submission?
Repeat that one again.
Okay, that one's good. Okay, let me rephrase it. So, if men want to avoid like the arguing with women, and that's why they're going on AI companionship, well, what are women doing to avoid being submissive?
Oh boy.
I think this is good. I think, like, you know, fantasy, romance novels, 50 Shades of Grey. Like they want all of that, but just in their minds.
I don't think it's just in their minds. You know, the 50 Shades of Grey things, I think it's the dream of every woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it came with like the stuff that the women did not want. The BDSM stuff. They want the money, the things, they want the kink, they want to like the pleasure dom. They'd be orgasming 5,000 times. But if it's too real and too hardcore, like no.
That's
no.
why it was a good book, because it was not that too hardcore, because they got married at the end, and you know she turned him into vanilla. Women wants, you know, the vanilla sex and the money and the chapter
Yeah.
to go like. I mean, they women want that.
But they also want to get like their hair pulled sometimes,
Not
and
too
to
hard.
get like
Not too hard.
exactly
Not too hard. Just not too.
just in fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it never happens because it's too much of a fantasy.
Yeah, because when you pull, they go like, "No, don't do that anymore. Why did you do that?" And you go like, "Oh,
My
shit,
hair.
my hair."
You're gonna mess up my hair. Don't come in my hair. I mean, eyes is a different thing, but hair, come on, you can wash it. Eyes just, it hurts a little bit, but that's okay. Like, you just say, you know, I hit something.
Wear some glasses.
Lemon juice. I was doing lemonade, and then it's spurted in my eye. Wow, that's still yeah, it's okay. We're almost done. We're almost done. Okay, perfect. So, well, thank you for bearing with me and my awesome computer that never stops working for me.
And
yeah, let's do the poll.
The poll.
Okay. So, when you're on Instagram, do you mostly see women? 85% say yes. I know we have a male audience, but this is quite interesting.
Yes, that's all you see on Instagram.
Well, because again, I don't think men create that much content. Women do, and they're getting money from it. So again, why would they stop? So they just do a lot. There's more. There's a lot. You do the trends. It's easy. You work for Instagram, and young women are doing it too. Like, we're not talking about women in their 30s. We're talking about women that are like 12 years old. So it's girls, and then they born with a tablet and then phones, and then they just keep on doing it. And sexualization, it's not because it's sexualized. It's because you hit puberty with a phone. So what are you gonna do with it? Like, show yourself.
Show your tits.
like you do when you're at the Lolita age. You already do it. You just never had a channel to like give it to the world. Now you do. And so I think it's just human nature, right? This is what girls do. And now we're seeing the effects of that. So what do we do with guys who don't have that effect? And also, last thing, to come back to like the robots, you know, if women have man robots, then who's gonna pay? So you need to have women who have jobs, because if men have woman robot, that's fine. They're already providers. They already have jobs and they're paying.
That's gonna be a good one for the next one.
So think about it until then. I'm Marian Delacroix, also infamously known all over the internet as Piper Blush, and I wrote the book Why Submissive Women Are Happier. Don't be deceived by the title. Go read it. Then you can argue about it. And I is here with Master. Don't forget to actually listen to the podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts. Yes, it's super easy to find. It's called the Happy Submissive Podcast. And it is on Amazon, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
It's true, Midnight Smoke. Most of my Instagram pictures are my wife. It's true. See, I post women too.
Yes, good point. But don't all men post their wives or want to share pictures of their beautiful wives?
Yes, most of them.
I think that's definitely a thing men to like to do. Share or show their property.